Good morning. So today I am working around the training pool that's just up there. My aim for today is I want to remove this staircase. So people follow the path around, they get to the training pool, and because they thought it was dead end, they were pushing their way through the plant. So they put this path in. But I don't like these steps. I've seen too many people try and use them, and they're just too dangerous. The bottom step is far bigger than the next step up, which is then smaller than the step after that, so the steps are uneven. They're sloping that way, they're slippery, so they need redoing. But I'm thinking, if I can just get rid of them, then I don't have to maintain them. I can push the path here further back, so you're further away from the lake here. So to do that, I've got to go to the other end of the path. So this is where I'm actually working today. My plan is to put a gate across here, because hopefully, as people come around the path there, they'll see that there's a gate here and they can't get through this path, and they'll head down the steps there and down through that way. But by it being a gate rather than a fence, it can be opened, the training pool can be used. So, I have got an old gate, some reclaimed posts, because I'm trying to do this for free. So, yeah. First thing to do is replace that corner post, because I don't think I can hang a gate off of it, although it is solid. It's not straight and it is rotting at the bottom. So yeah, let's start with that. Okay, well there are just so many nails in there. I'm going to be here forever. So yeah, I'll check back in with you once I've got the nails out. Okay, well that's got the post out at last. There's 35 nails in that post, and it probably needed 20 at the most. But yeah, so all I need to do now is dig a hole. Now unfortunately the neighbour's having that hedge removed today, and I didn't realise it was today. So it's going to get incredibly noisy. So what I'm thinking is, while I dig that hole, because that won't be very interesting for you, I'll leave you watching a little video about how I made that gate that size, because it was a bigger one. So yeah, right, I'll let you watch that and I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so this is one of those tasks that sounds simple on paper, but when you actually start looking at it, it gets a little bit more complicated. So I want a gate that is 4 foot wide and 3 foot tall. Now this gate is 5 foot wide, but as you can see the top of it's broken, so it was on the junk pile, but I'm thinking I can reuse it. So theory is, it should be simple enough. You just move this bar across, so you cut a foot off the width of it and cut a foot off the height of it, and this will be the perfect size for what I need. But it's when you start looking at that a little bit closer that you realise things get a little bit more complicated. So the first one is where the top bar is broken. That's not a problem. I was going to cut that off. And I need to do, it's a mortise and tenon joint here, so I think it's a tenon, there's a tongue bit that sticks in, to go back into there so I can shift this post along. So that bit is relatively simple. But it's this cross that's actually causing me the problem, because it is jointed in at the top there, so I can't just shift it over without having a hole in the wood. And if I was just cut it off, then the cross would be off centres, and I'm not sure if that would look right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by removing the old sign, removing the old nails. There's some random nails sticking out the side here, and just taking the bits off that I don't need, because there's a plank wood on the back of it as well, and getting it back to the bare bones. And then I'll try and take this piece off the side here, lay it on the surface, then I can look at it and see what I'm going to do. So yeah, let's make a start. Okay, well that's gate deconstructed. So I couldn't get this hinge off, but then I realised I didn't need to get that hinge off because that joint is staying put anyway. So the bottom rail is going to go because I'm reducing the height of this gate. So I needed that hinge off, so that one's good. I'm going to take the X section here and I'm going to shift it over 6 inches and then take another 6 inches off the other side. So I needed to trim both sides of that. So that's come out as a whole, which is good. And then the posts on this side, again, I want to trim the bottom off of that. So, yeah, and then redo this joint. So if this isn't making any sense to you, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by sorting that post and that joint out there, and then it'll make sense. Okay, so that's the tongue all marked out. I don't know if it's showing up terribly well. I have tried to highlight it with marker pen there as well, but this is wet at the moment, so it's not doing a lot. So yeah, typically it's fallen right in the middle of a knot, which isn't the strongest piece of wood, but it's what I'm working with. And to be honest, that's why I think this bit failed, because it fell on a knot there. Difference is this is only going to be the tongue for the gate post, whereas the other one had a separate pocket as well for the diagonal. So it's not going to have that diagonal piece, so this should be stronger. So yeah, let's try cutting it. So there we go, that's the tenon. Now, as you can see, it's lovely precise measurements and everything there. So, moment of truth will be see if the post fits. I'm hoping if it doesn't, it's because it will be too big rather than too small, because I can always trim a bit more off, I can't stick it back on. There we go, I'm happy with that fit. I mean, yeah, it's not quality carpentry, but for what I'm working on, that's good enough. Okay, it took me a moment, I didn't realise it was upside down at first. So, yeah, now it's up the right way. So, if I cut these to length at either side, they should go into the original mortised slots on either side there. Now, the crossbeam originally tucked into 2 pockets at the top. Now, obviously, it's going to be further down, so if I cut that flush with the upright on either side, then it will be secured to the upright on either side. So that will stop it from twisting out of shape, but it won't have a pocket to go into anymore. But yeah, that should do. So I'll just measure this and make sure it's accurate and cut everything to size. Okay, well that's the gate all finished. So I've cut the top of the post off there and I've put the hinge on. I've given it a quick coat of wood preserver just to try and make it last a little bit longer. Now for securing the bars across here, initially they were held together with wooden dowels, but I decided to use screws, so I put 2 screws in at the ends of the planks here, so that goes through all the way through the post and almost clamps those planks in place. For the joint at the top here, I've put 4 screws through, so 2 on this side, 2 on the back, and they go at an angle into the wood there, so that pulls that together nice and tight as well. So we've got a lovely gate now that matches the other gates in look, but is the size I want. So all I've got to do now is put it in place. Okay, hole is dug and post is in, so that's about 2 foot down there, so that should be nice and sturdy. And I'm just going to backfill it with gravel so that if I need to remove it at any stage, then it should be nice and easy to dig. So yeah, let's get on and get the wire back. Okay, so the path is gated at the other end, so people are less likely to come down here and want to get down through here. So I can now remove these steps. So what I'm thinking is I'll take the handrail down and stack all the wood up the top there, and then try and remove the slabs using the trailer. So yeah, let's get on. Okay, well that is the steps out and the handrail gone. That is not going to be enough to stop people, so I will need to put the fence back at the top there, and I'm going to try and sort something out on this bottom, maybe get some plants or something just to cover it a little bit more. But yeah, we'll see what we can do, but I'm not going to do that today because, as you can see, it is absolutely chucking it down. Weather forecast did say slight chance of showers. This has gone on a little bit too long to be a shower, so I'm going to go and get warm and dry and yeah, carry on with this tomorrow. See you in a bit. Okay, well it's incredibly windy today, but at least it's dry, so let's get this fence in. Okay, well it's the end of the day, the weather has settled down, peace has returned at last. So yeah, so this job didn't go smoothly as I'd like, but we got there in the end. So we've got the gate across the path here now. So I did want to put a latching bolt on here, like the other gates, but we didn't have any in the shed, so I've gone for a slide bolt, but that's not a problem. Because, like I say, I want to discourage people from using this path. I don't want to block it and close it, but I just want to discourage people from going down there. So that should work quite nicely. And if we do go down there, we can work our way through to the end. And when you get to the end here, there's a little fence across here, so that should discourage people from trying to walk down there. I'm sure we'll still get 1 or 2 people try and do it, but it's quite obvious that it's no longer a footpath. And this is the bottom of the path where the majority of people are going to be, and that definitely doesn't look like a path anymore. So I've dug a few plants out from the top lake there, so that's giving it some instant fill, and I took the edge off here, so I used the soil from there to fill in this section. So that's looking good. I also spent a bit of time today. I've just put some gravel all the way along this path here and moved one of the logs across to the seat there. So yeah, so this is all looking a lot better now. Yeah, so I shall end this video here and I'll see you later.